Have you ever looked in the mirror and realized that your foundation looked heavy or cakey? Well, that's certainly a look that most of us definitely want to avoid at all costs. Well, as a makeup artist who specializes in working with women over 50, one of the questions I get most often is, how do I cover up the redness, age spots, and discoloration on my face without my makeup looking heavy and cakey? Well, I'm here to answer that question today, and I'll share with you 5 secrets for creating a flawless looking complexion that looks natural, soft, and beautiful. But before I share those secrets, let me welcome you if you're new to this channel, and say a welcome back to those of you who are already part of this family. My name is Elise, and I'm passionate about helping women like myself who are over 50, 60, 70, 80, and beyond look like the very best version of themselves by offering makeup tips, techniques, and product information that can make the biggest difference for us now. So without further ado, let's dive in. Before we talk about the 5 secrets of coverage options, we first need to take a couple of minutes to touch on skincare, since our skincare steps are extremely important. As most of us know, there's no way we can look our best without taking a few moments to prep our skin before applying our makeup. The first skincare step that's important is to exfoliate our skin twice a week, unless you have rosacea, so that the dead skin cells which accumulate on our face don't build up and cause problems like clogged pores, uneven skin texture, and dull skin. Dead skin cells can also lead to bacterial infections and acne breakouts. Also, removing dead skin cells through exfoliation allows improved blood circulation in the skin's tissues, which also helps our skin look better. It also allows skincare products to better penetrate the skin, so our skincare can be more effective. And since we're paying good money for skincare, we definitely want that skincare to be as effective as possible. I've included links in the description box below to some of my favorite exfoliating products, as well as links to other products that I'll be talking about in today's video. Well, the second skincare step is to moisturize our skin, but we want to make sure to save the heavier moisturizer for night and use a lighter moisturizer during the day. That's because it's very easy for makeup products to sink into our skin if we apply too much product, or if we use products that are too thick or heavy. And be sure to let the moisturizer fully sink in and dry before applying any makeup products. And speaking of products, let's get to those 5 secrets of covering up age spots and discoloration that don't leave our skin looking cakey. The first secret is about how best to apply coverage, and the second secret is where to apply it. We first want to make sure to shake any liquid foundation, because most of the time, the way we store our foundation allows the pigments to settle at the bottom, which can affect the overall color of the foundation, and the oils can separate. Once we've given the foundation a good shake, it's a good idea to squeeze out or pump out a small amount of the foundation onto the back of our hand. Then, with our finger, brush, or sponge, pick up a small amount, and here's the most important part: only apply it to the areas where we need the most coverage, not necessarily all over our face. For most of us, the areas that will need the most coverage will be the center of our face, including our forehead, nose, chin, and cheeks. And some of us also have age spots in other areas which definitely need our attention. For instance, I have age spots along the lower part of my jawline. You can certainly see the age spots here. This is my biggest one, as well as the ones along this jawline. Unfortunately, I, for many years, did not wear SPF when I was driving, and this of course is the side of my face that always faced the window when I was driving. If I'd only worn sunscreen all those times I was driving. Well, it's also important to apply the foundation to just one of these areas at a time, since foundation can quickly settle into the skin and we don't want it to dry out before we blend it in. And we just want one light layer. We can always apply a second layer if we need it, but if we want to avoid a cakey foundation look, it's best to create one light layer at a time and gradually build up the foundation if we need to do so. Then blend the foundation outwards toward the edge of our face. This way, we're getting the most coverage on the areas where we need it the most. So I'm first going to go ahead and dot my medium coverage Kosas foundation just onto the center of my face on just one side. Then I'll blend in the foundation in this area only before applying foundation to any other part of my face. Shaking this foundation well. And so this doesn't dry, I'm going to immediately blend it in. Now I've gotten the most coverage here, and now since I have foundation on my brush, I'm just going to blend it outwards. So that way I'm not putting heavy amounts of foundation all over my face. Now, as you see, those age spots are still showing up, so I will want to apply just a little bit more coverage there. And I'm going to press it in so I get the most amount of coverage, and then I'll blend. Press first, and then blend. And I missed a spot right there that I need to cover. So as you can see, I got the coverage I needed where I most needed it, here and along the jawline where I have the age spots, but it doesn't look thick and heavy because I went in with just a little bit of foundation here where I most needed it and spread it out more thinly. This method of applying and blending foundation in one small area at a time really ensures that the foundation doesn't settle into our skin unevenly, which can also cause it to look cakey. I'm just applying the foundation to one side of my face since we'll be doing something a little different to the other side of my face in just a moment. Next, I'll do one half of my chin and I'll do one half of my forehead, and we'll blend that in as well. Now these are certain areas along the marionette lines and these lines down here where we're apt to get a cakey looking amount of coverage. That's why we want to only apply a very thin layer. And I'm going to just go over it and make sure it's evenly placed. So we've covered the first two secrets, how and where to apply the foundation. So let's move on to the third secret. Secret number 3 is to go back over our entire face with a very slightly dampened makeup sponge. That means a sponge that we've not only squeezed all the water out of with our hand, but which we've also wrapped in a paper or a cloth towel and given a second squeeze. It's important to do this second squeeze with a towel to make sure that the sponge is only very slightly damp, so the sponge doesn't absorb a lot of our makeup. We only want it to absorb any excess makeup. Using a makeup sponge in this way ensures that our makeup doesn't look cakey. Plus, this feels so wonderful, and we're giving additional moisture to our skin, which is a good thing as well. Now on to secret number 4, which applies to those of us who need more coverage. Believe it or not, it is possible to apply a foundation with greater coverage and still avoid a cakey look. The secret is to use the right greater coverage foundation that provides excellent coverage, but which is lightweight. 2 foundations with greater coverage that I'd highly recommend are KVD's Good Apple Foundation and Doll 10's Super Coverage Makeup. Let me show you how fantastic the coverage is with both of these foundations with a quick demonstration. I'll apply each of them on top of the vein on the underside of my wrist. If a product has really good coverage, you won't be able to see the vein. I hope this is showing up okay. Now I've wiped off all the KVD foundation with my micellar water, and now let's try the other foundation from Doll 10. And I hope you can see that the Doll 10 foundation also covered up that blue color on my vein. Now we can definitely see the excellent coverage that both of these foundations provide. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply the KVD foundation on the other side of my face in the same way that I earlier applied the Kosas foundation. I'm going to apply it just to the cheek on this side of my face. First, give it a good shake, and a little of this goes a very long way, and then I'm just going to press it in where I need the most coverage. And this is covering the redness, and that did a good job, so I'm now just going to take what's left over on my brush and bring it down. But you can still see the age spots here, so I'm just going to give a little bit of touch more and we'll cover those up. I'm just pressing it in. And then blending. And I think you'll see what a great job this foundation does of covering up those age spots. And I'll put just a couple dots on my chin and my forehead. Now, ideally, I would not have applied lipstick before doing this, but and I get just as good a coverage with the Doll 10 product as well. Secret number 5 is to use a different makeup product for our coverage. Instead of foundation, I'll use concealer just on the areas that need the most coverage, but we will definitely want to use a concealer that has really good coverage. Two of my favorite concealers with great coverage are Clinique's Even Better Concealer and Natasha Denona's High Glam Concealer. Let's go ahead and check out the coverage with these concealers by doing the test that we did earlier, covering the vein on the underside of each wrist with each of these concealers. The Clinique concealer is here at the top, and the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer is underneath it. As you can tell, you can still see the vein protruding, but you cannot see the blue of the vein. I'm going to go ahead and head off camera to take off the foundation on one side of my face and reapply moisturizer so we can see how coverage looks when we use just concealer. So as you can see from this micellar soaked cotton pad, all the foundation has now been removed. And you can certainly tell I'm without foundation because of all the redness here and then because of all the age spots as well. So let's go ahead and give the Natasha Denona concealer a try since I think I'm almost out of my Clinique concealer. And I'm using the shade RN3 and I'm just dotting it on those areas where I need the most coverage. Then I'm just going to press it in first so I get the best coverage. And wow, can you see how those just totally disappeared? This is amazing coverage. Just those few dots of concealer have totally covered up my age spots and the redness. And then I'm just going to pat over it with a dampened makeup sponge. And this really helps meld everything together because I'm pressing it in. And once again, adding some additional good moisture to the face. Well, that covers today's topic, which I hope you found helpful and you enjoyed. And if you did, I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd hit that thumbs up icon to let the YouTube algorithm know. I hope you'll subscribe before you leave today. And if you click that bell icon, you'll receive notifications about my new content each Thursday. And I hope in the comment section below you'll share with me and all the rest of us your favorite way of creating coverage that works the best for your skin. Until we see each other again, I wish you good health and happiness, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.